What's up, y'all, and welcome back to the Warsheep Podcast. Listen, today I want to drop some truth bombs on y'all. You understand what I'm saying? For everybody who's a true, firm believer, not only in Yeshua HaMashiach, but of course in Yahweh, you know, things that you really need to know to live bold, to live fearless, and to align your wills with the Most High Yah. You got to understand something here. Life can try to intimidate you in many different ways. You understand what I'm saying? Um, Society can try to not only shake the foundations of your world, but also they can try to tear you down in many different facets. These are some of the things that you really ought to know as believers in Yeshua, believers in the Messiah, believers in Yahweh. You understand what I'm saying? Nothing, and I mean no one, can control you spiritually. They can't control the spirit you move in, you walk in, unless you allow them to do so. If you allow them to control you spiritually, then they will have full control over you. But if you yourself practice to have self autonomy, then you can overcome and you can accomplish anything. We're going to shed some light on this, right? Five things that believers should know are, five things that believers should know. We're going to shed some light on this right here, right now on the Warsheep Podcast, because here we believe that light creates understanding. Understanding creates love. Love creates patience, and that patience will create unity. So let's get unified in the spirit, y'all.
Is the sheep preaching hate when it says, I'm not going to let the wolf eat me anymore? If the wolf comes in here, next time he comes in here, I'll do whatever I have to do to keep him off my back. Is the sheep violent or is the wolf the violent one? He wasn't teaching hate, he was teaching common sense. You know, somebody's knocking you over the head, stop them. Do whatever you have to do to stop them. You know, the ones that were knocking him over the head were afraid of the fact that he might swing back. So they said, no, he's teaching hate, he's violent.
All right, y'all. So listen, we're going to dive right into this thing. One of the number one things that I really want you to realize and to accept and to know is that death is guaranteed. You understand what I'm telling you? Death is guaranteed. It's about how you live your life right now. That's what truly matters. Of course, as we know, we should fear no man, right? We should only fear the Most High Yahweh. They can do it to our body and our spirit. You know what I'm saying? Our soul and our spirit. But to not fear a man who can only do it to your flesh, right? Now, let's start with the ultimate truth. Death is guaranteed for everyone, for every living thing on this planet. There's nothing you can do to avoid or to escape death itself. You understand what I'm saying? So accepting that you already have died, not only in Yeshua, but you are walking as a dead man. It is what it is. Who can stop you? Who can touch you? If you've already accepted the facts and the truth of that right there. Like, honestly, how can you threaten me with death if I'm already dead? If I'm already dead in the Messiah and I've been reborn and I'm looking to spend time in the newness of life, right? You have to understand it is guaranteed. Bodily harm is something that should never threaten you to a point as to where you will cowardly down. You understand what I'm telling you? You are a warrior of the Most High Yahweh, and all cowards should have their part in the fire that burneth with fire and brimstone. So you got to understand, cowards is also individuals who will wind up in the depths of Hades, of hell. You understand what I'm telling you? So understanding how to be courageous, how to be bold, how to be brave, how to be tough in these ways, and how to address situations in its proper capacity, right? Matching energies is the best thing for us to do. Let's take a look at a little bit of scripture here to give us some motivation. Let's get to it. All right, y'all. So this is like one of my favorites. It's gotten me through some of the most tough times, right? as to where I need to stay focused and lock in, not only on the prize, on the goal, but also on endurance. You understand what I'm saying? This is Psalms 27:1. Love this Psalms, y'all. Love this Psalms whenever it's time to dig deep and pull out that warrior spirit, right? Right. The Elohim. The Elohim is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Elohim is my strength, is the strength of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid? When the wicked, even my enemies and my foes, came upon me to eat up my flesh, they stumbled and fell. Though an host should encamp against me, my heart shall not fear. Though war should rise against me, in this will I be confident. One thing I desire. One thing have I desire of the Elohim, that I will seek after, that I may dwell in the house of the Elohim all the days of my life, to behold the beauty of the Elohim, and to what? Inquire in his temple. Inquire in his temple. For in the time of trouble, for in the time of trouble, he shall hide me in his pavilion. In the secret of his tabernacle shall he hide me. He shall set me up upon a rock. Now, this is David writing this, right? And we know for sure that this man, when he went to go to marry Michelle, he had to slay 100 Philistines and get 100 foreskins from 100 Philistines. King Saul, right, thought that it was a death wish. He thought he sent him on a mission to die, literally, and thought that he would not defeat the Philistines and he would die in battle. And it was an opportunity to be able to be happy, be secure that the individual who may replace him has now gone, that will not be, it would not have come to pass or been fulfilled. But David, on this type of mindset, went into battle, went charged into war. Listen, slayed 200 Philistines. You understand what I'm saying? Slayed 200 Philistines. Let's continue reading. And now shall my head be lifted up above mine enemies round about me. Therefore will I offer in his tabernacle sacrifices of joy. I will sing, I will sing praises unto the Elohim. Hear, O Elohim, when I cry with my voice, have mercy also upon me and answer me. When thou saidest, seek ye my face, my heart said unto thee, thy face, O Elohim, will I seek. Thy face will I seek. O Master, will I seek your face. O Elohim, will I seek your face. When thou saidest, seek ye my face, my heart said unto thee, thy face, Elohim, will I seek. Hide not thy face far from me. Put not thy servant away in anger. Thou hast been my help. Leave me not, neither forsake me. O Elohim, O Yah of my salvation. O Yah of my salvation. Will my father and my mother forsake me? Then the Elohim will take me up. Teach me thy way, O Master. O Elohim, teach me thy way, and lead me in plain paths because of my enemies. Deliver me not over unto the will of mine enemies, for false witnesses are risen up against me, and such as breathe out cruelties. And such as breathe out cruelties. And these false witnesses have risen up against me, and such have breathed out cruelties. I had fainted unless I had believed to see the goodness of the Master, of the Elohim, in the land of the living. Wait, wait on the Elohim. Wait on the Master. Be of good courage. Listen, you need to be still. You need to wait. You need to be of good courage, and he shall strengthen thine heart. Wait, I say, on the Master, on the Elohim. Listen, I don't give a damn who. I don't care who's saying what. I don't care how they're approaching you. That's death shall visit us all. There's no need to fear, no need to run, no need to be cowardice. You stand bold, you stand strong, you stand firm in the Most High, understanding that even if thine enemies encamped about you, that listen, there's nothing they can do. We're going to see who Yah is truly with. We're going to see who Yah is truly with, who truly is the servant of the Most High. And when you walk away from this battle with the victory, guess what? You'd understand how many foes you've vanquished and accomplished and tore down and ripped apart. And the only way you could have done it if you were standing on business, on kingdom business, on the Most High Yah. You understand what I'm saying? You're able to achieve and to accomplish and to and overcome and destroy some of the most mighty foes because of what? Because you stood with Yah. Not even the government could stop you and shut you down. Why? Because you stood with Yah. Not even individuals who formed weapons and evil weapons against you and spoke curses over you could stop you. Why? Because you stood with Yah. You understand what I'm telling you? Because you stood with the Most High. You stood with Yah. That's the reason why they couldn't stop you. That should visit us all. We have to have a clear understanding as to what this is, what it looks like, what it truly means. There's nothing to be fearful of. It's the way of life. It's the natural flow and progress of life. Honestly, tell you the truth. It's something that you need to get used to. You need to be familiar with, understanding that these things exist. These things exist. Your strength and your courage is the thing that keeps you from being the weaker link in the scenario. The more you strengthen yourself in understanding Psalms 27:1, right? The entire Psalms, understanding the humility behind it, understanding the boldness, the braveness, how courageous it is. You got to understand that death will visit us all and it's inevitable. It's a guarantee it will come. So for you to fear, you should fear having fear of it. Because the Most High Yah does not give us the spirit of fear, but the spirit of peace and of love and a sound mind and of power. Right? You don't want to be the weaker link in the chain. You want to be the one moving with strength, moving with power and authority through and with Yahweh, Yeshua, Hamashiach, Jesus the Messiah. You want to be moving with that level of authority, right? You don't want to be like prey. You understand what I'm telling you? You got to know when it's time to be bold. You get what I'm telling you? You got to know when it's time to be strong. When it's time to stand firm. You already know who you are in the Messiah. You know who you are and who you can be. You know who you can be and you know who you are. And you know how powerful you truly are. And if you don't know, you better get to know it because you don't want to be the weaker link in the scenario, in this spiritual warfare, this battle that we're in. Honestly, tell you the truth, this is all spiritual warfare. I want you to take a look at something here. And I want you to understand what I mean by spiritual warfare. You do not want to be the prey. You want to be the one who is the predator. You want to be the one who is in the seat of authority, of strength, of power. Because this is a dog eat dog word. Listen, it's a cruel place. It can be. Right? You don't want to fall victim. So I want to play this I want to play this clip real quick. And I want just for the understanding on how fearless you need to be. right? How fearless and how brave and how bold you need to be, or you will wind up like prey. You'll wind up like a weaker link. You understand what I'm telling you? Somebody's dinner, somebody's meal, right? Hmm. Absolutely. Strengthen. Gird up your loins. Be powerful in your presentation. Let's go.
Hard look at this video. Observe and feel what the deer is feeling. And also feel how the tiger is feeling. Observe your emotions. Pay attention to them. How does it make you feel? Acknowledge what is happening right in front of you. The deer is being ripped apart, alive, screaming, clearly in pain. The sight of its blood, clear. Its hopelessness and loud cries for help, clear. How did that video make you feel? Did it make you feel upset, disturbed, traumatized, angry, frustrated? That's the entire point. Nature does not care. The deer's life is nothing. Its pain is nothing. Its screams for help is nothing. The weak do not survive. They scream, they bleed, and they die. As you watch this video, you witness a life dying. Tigers kill because they must. Wolves kill because they must. Every predator and animal must kill because they must. In the face of raw survival and primal instincts, morality and sentiment have no place in nature and reality. I will say this once. Survival is the only absolute law. Ethics, morality, equality, sentiment, these are all social constructs that humans have invented to numb themselves from the pain and terror of reality and nature. They do not exist in reality. This is an undeniable truth and a fact, by the way. There is no debating this. Understand that life is fundamentally violent. Life is fundamentally predatory. The weak die and the strong live. There is no consolation, no judgment, no second chance. Death is constant. Every moment, a claim, a fight, a conquest. Observe this video. Look at the screams and observe the zebra and its interaction with the lioness. Observe this dog being eaten by a leopard. No matter what your feelings tell you, this is reality and there's no overriding this. Accept it or you have already lost in life. Competence, awareness, and ruthlessness. These are the only guarantees in life. This is absolute truth and this is absolute laws of nature. The rest is all decorations. This is not something you debate. You accept this or you are crushed and killed when your survival is at stake.
Now, that's one thing that's for sure, right? That she's definitely presenting you with quite a bit of information that you need to know. Not that you need to receive or need to investigate. No, you need to understand and know this. Because when you are walking in the truth of life, in light, in the Messiah, in Hamashiach, these things will come upon you. You will either be predator or you will be prey. You either will be strong during these situations or you'd be weak. And we know that the weak do not survive. The weak don't survive. So I just wanted to go ahead and tell you, number one, death will visit us all. You understand? And we're going to live a prosperous life in Yeshua, a prosperous life, a filled life, a life full of bravery and boldness and adventure. But once we do get visited by our old friend, we're going to go on to glory with happiness, with joy, smiling, ready to enter into the gates of the kingdom, ready to have that meal with the rest of the disciples and the rest of the ancestors, right? This is what we're working hard for. You understand what I'm saying? All right. We're going to go for number 2, right? Faith. Faith moves mountains, y'all. Faith moves mountains. You got to understand. Faith isn't just a nice idea. You understand what I'm saying? It's a weapon. It's a weapon. Whatever whatever obstacles, okay, you face, you even if it seems impossible, your faith in the Most High Yahweh can move it for you. You got to understand, your faith in the Most High Yahweh can move it for you. Let's get Romans 10:17. Okay, Romans 10:17. So then faith cometh by hearing, and hearing by the word of the Elohim, of the word of Yahweh. Listen, faith come by hearing. You got to know, once you've heard, you need to have faith, period. Faith, believing, everything. Once you see it, you got to understand, you have to have faith. Faith comes by hearing. And then the hearing comes of the word of the Most High Yah. When you're doing something, when you're praying, are you praying with faith? When you're praying, are you praying with faith or without faith? Which one are you doing? Because if you're praying without faith, then those prayers are going to be very difficult to be answered and heard. But if you're praying and you have all of the faith in the world, right, you're going to be able to manifest and create reality and shape and bend and warp the reality as you know it, because of the level of faith of a grain of a mustard seed that you contain, you hold in that prayer. Faith is so important. Faith is what get things moving. Without faith, it's very difficult for things to actually be able to manifest. Listen, humility starts the engine, but faith is what keeps this thing going. Faith is what keeps this thing going all the way through and through, is your faith. You got to know that now. All right. Faith is what keeps this thing going all the way through and through. Okay. Now, I want to go ahead and move on to the next one. Let's go ahead and move on. All right. So number 3, your words have power. You got to understand that, right? Things you got to know. Your words have power. Okay, y'all. Your words have power. And I know that, of course, we know that power of life and death is in the tongue. The Bible says that life and death are in the power of the tongue. Speak life over yourself, your family, and your future. You got to understand that. I know we just got done saying that death is inevitable, but we're going to live a long, prosperous life that will be well in the sight of the Most High Yah, that will be well in the eyes of Yeshua HaMashiach, right? It's going to be well in his eyes. We're going to live such a life that it's going to be inspirational, right? Tapping into the Holy Spirit, the things that are lost in these generations and times, we're going to find opportunities to be able to regain it, right? Which is that spiritual connection. This is what we're going to do. And we're going to do it through the power, the power of the tongue, right? Your words shape your reality. It manifests it in reality. You can shape, bend, move. That's why I say, with faith and prayer and faith will be able to move mountains for you. Okay. Because of course we know this. And as a believer, you carry Yah's authority with your declarations. Once you declare something, listen, it is so. It will be done. You got to understand the power of life and death in the tongue. You got to understand how it's going to be controlled, but also understand how to be fearless, how to be faithful, how to understanding that the power of life and death in the tongue. Understand how powerful you truly are when you're speaking what you're speaking. You got to understand. You got to understand that. Right? All right. Number 4, y'all. You are called to be set apart. You are called to be set apart. This one is so important as well. You are called to be set apart. Don't conform to the world's. Don't conform to the world's patterns. Okay, or approval. You understand what I'm saying? Don't conform to the world's patterns or to the world's approval. You would have to be led of the Spirit and by the Spirit. If the Spirit tells you to rebuke, rebuke. If the Spirit tells you to reprove, reprove. If the Spirit tells you to get away from the situation, get away from the situation. Be led of the Spirit. But do not conform yourself to the things of this world. Don't bind yourself to them, okay? just so you can have approval, right? Let's go to 2 Corinthians 6. Okay, 2 Corinthians 6:17. Wherefore, come out from among them and be ye separate, saith the Elohim, and touch not the unclean thing, and I will receive you. Listen, this is 2 Corinthians 6:17. Our beloved brother Paul has written to the Corinthians and made it known that this is what we ought to do. Be ye separate. Be ye separate, right? Come out from among them. Touch not the unclean thing. Don't be there feasting and dining with people who are eating things that are unclean unto you, doing things that are unsavory, unclean, right? Come out from among them with that. Be ye separate. Thus saith Yahweh, right? Ye are called to be set apart. You got to understand this. Come out of her. And that applies to today more than ever. Live by his standards. You understand what I'm saying? Not by the world standards. Don't conform to them. Your peace, your joy, your destiny depends on that. You got to understand this. Your peace, your love, your joy, your destiny, it all rests with you setting yourself apart, with you identifying things that may be wicked or unrighteous and calling it out and setting yourself apart, right? We'll go on to the next one. All right, y'all. So, number 5, eternal perspective changes everything. You understand what I'm telling you? Life here is temporary. You got to know. That's why you cannot fear. That's number 1. Death will visit us all. We cannot fear. But we're going to live a prosperous life in Yeshua HaMashiach until he returns, until we go on to glory. You understand what I'm telling you? Until glory, right? Going to live a prosperous life in Yeshua HaMashiach until glory. Let's go. Life here is temporary, but eternity is forever. When you see life through Yah's lens, the struggles, the rejections, and what? The setbacks, loss, lost their sting, right? When the setbacks have lost their sting, don't get consumed by what's temporary. Don't get consumed by what individuals are doing temporarily right now. Get consumed and immersed in the things that need to take place to further the future, to progress the nation, to progress your mission, your destiny. You understand what I'm telling you? That's what you need to be looking towards. Don't not only these pointless arguments, bickering back and forth, arguing with busy idiots who don't know how to maintain their own composure, let alone their own emotions. And you're getting into an emotional warfare with a effeminate male, a soy boy. You understand what I'm saying? These are some of the things that you need to refrain from doing. Getting into arguments with foolish men, right? You need to keep your wisdom and deal with the things that are weightier. Deal with your destiny, your purpose, what you've been designed to do and placed on this earth to do. Deal with that destiny first and foremost, right? Focus on what is eternal. Focus on your own spirit, your soul, and getting it to the next level. And live in alignment with his plan. Whatever plan he has set up for you, right? We all have to understand that we have to align ourselves with that plan and that goal. Remember, death is guaranteed, but fear is optional. You can choose to be in fear, but you cannot choose death. You understand what I'm telling you? But we all shall do what? We shall understand that death is guaranteed, but we shall live in Yeshua Mashiach. We shall live, right? In his name. We shall live and we shall prosper in his name. But fear is, of course, optional. Fear no man. Fear no circumstances. But fear the Most High Yah and walk in the freedom he gives you. Keep these 5 truths close and you'll live boldly, powerfully, and what? unshakably, right? Unshakably. You'll live these type of lifestyles to where you cannot be moved. You cannot be swayed. You already understand the truth, know the truth, and you can't waver from the truth and on to glory. You cannot waver from the truth. And this is how we shall serve Yeshua, Hamashiach, Jesus the Messiah. Is on to glory. We shall serve him. You understand what I'm saying? We shall serve each other on to glory. Walk in faith and fear nothing but the Most High Yah. Fear nothing but the Most High Yah. That is the only thing you should fear. And I really want to say that because my thing is this, right? As people start to try to instill spirits in you, you hear them talk. You hear them talking negatively about you. You hear them talk negatively about you and try to place spirits of fear, of doubt, of disbelief, or whatever it may be. But they don't understand who you truly are. They don't know your walk. They don't know your journey with the Yeshua, with the Most High Yahweh. They don't understand where you're at mentally, physically, emotionally, whether they can truly pry you away from the grips of Yah, right? And if they can use fear tactics to do it, then guess what? They've accomplished their mission and goal. They've been able to destroy you effectively from the inside out, right? Rotting you from the bones, rotting you from the core. No, you stand on business. You stand on being fearless. You stand on understanding that Yah gives you a what? A spirit of peace and of love and a sound mind and of power. You got to understand that these things are what you are made of. Don't allow anyone to tell you anything different. This is your host, Barak. We'll go ahead and sign this thing out. I really appreciate you guys joining me here for the Warsheep Podcast, right? For this video, don't forget to like it, comment, and subscribe, and holler back at your boy. We'll see you guys in the next one. Peace and shalom, shalom.